On May 8th, scientists recorded hundreds of small earthquakes, all in one spot in the open ocean north of Papua New Guinea. The next day, satellites spotted columns of steam rising over that exact place. The problem is, there is no volcano there. There's nothing there at all, just water. The official wording from seismologists, a possible volcanic eruption. It looks like a brand new island is climbing from the ocean floor toward the surface right now. Satellites have caught something like this only a handful of times in history. A newborn island has two paths. The first one ends with an explosion the whole planet hears. The second one ends with the island turning green. Why did nobody see this volcano before? Because we know the ocean floor worse than the surface of the moon and Mars. That's not a joke. It's a running complaint among oceanographers, and NASA repeated it in an official report. And the Bismarck Sea is one of the worst known spots, deep and barely scanned by sonar. Old maps promised a depth of several hundred meters at this point, but thermal sensors showed the vent is almost at the surface. The map got the depth of its own ocean wrong. They've narrowed the culprit down, roughly, an underwater ridge called Titan Ridge. Never heard of it? Nobody has. But this spot already has one dark story. In 1972, underwater microphones across the Pacific picked up a series of powerful sounds coming from this area, like an eruption. The noise traveled halfway across the ocean, but nobody saw a thing. No ash, no island. The spot screamed into the void and went silent for half a century. Now, it's awake. What's happening down there? An underwater volcano spends years building itself. A layer of lava on top of a layer, and a mountain grows from the sea floor. The closer its peak gets to the surface, the less the water presses down, and the louder the explosions become. And you can tell the peak is close by the pumice. That's volcanic rock stuffed with gas bubbles, so light it doesn't sink. The sea above the eruption is now covered with floating fields of stone. You can see them from space. Long bands stretched out by the currents. And those fields have already caused trouble. The stone carpets drifted to the nearby island of Manus and blockaded the coast. A layer of pumice several meters thick, boats locked in, no way to reach the water. Locals called it a disaster. The island isn't even born yet, and it's already blockading its neighbors. Scenario 1. Tonga. In 2015, between two small islands in the Pacific, a newborn rose out of the water. It joined them into one island. Plants took root on it. Scientists flew in to look at the miracle. The island lived for 7 years. Then, in January 2022, the volcano underneath it blew. Seawater reached the magma, and that's the worst combination on Earth. Water flashes into steam instantly, and steam takes up 1,700 times more space. The ash column punched 58 kilometers into the sky. Planes fly at 10. It was the loudest sound on the planet since Krakatoa, heard as far away as Alaska. The shock waves circled the globe more than once. The tsunami crossed the entire Pacific and killed people in Peru on the other side of the ocean. And the island itself vaporized, along with chunks of the old islands it had connected. Where there was land for 7 years, there is water again. So islands can do more than just be born. Scenario 2. Iceland, 1963. Fishermen noticed smoke over the sea, and within a day there was land sticking out of the water. The island was named Surtsey. 3 more islands rose from the ocean right next to it, and the sea washed all 3 away. Surtsey held on. The secret was on the inside. Hot steam from the volcano baked the loose ash into solid rock. Scientists thought that would take centuries. It took 2 years. The island got a stone shell, and the waves backed off. And then life started arriving on a bare rock in the middle of the ocean. Seeds came by wind and by birds. In the stomach of one bird, pebbles and seeds arrived all the way from Scotland. By 1965, the first flower was already growing on the lava. And then they found a tomato plant. The scientists couldn't figure out where it came from. Turns out, one of the researchers broke protocol and went to the bathroom right on the newborn island. The plant sprouted from that. The tomato was ceremonially weeded out. Today, Surtsey is a nature reserve that has allowed about 100 people in its entire history. Visitors get their shoes washed before landing, so no foreign seeds sneak in. I suspect that after that incident, shoes are not the only thing they check. Now back to the Bismarck Sea. Which path will this one get? The honest answer, since mid-June, the volcano has been quieting down. The tremors have almost stopped. The steam is fading. Maybe it's all over before it even started. Or maybe it's a pause. It has done this before. It screamed in 1972 and went silent for half a century. The satellites keep watching. The maps aren't changing. Yet.